Dr. Jaiho Park rubbed his tired eyes as he stared at the blinking light on his console. The research station's communication room was quiet at this late hour, with only the soft hum of machines keeping him company. Through the large window, he could see Proxima Centauri's reddish glow, casting strange shadows on the station's outer hull. The light shouldn't have been blinking. Not like that. "Computer, analyze signal source," he said, reaching for his cold coffee. The space station's systems whirred to life, processing his request. Signal origin, Sol system. Specific source, Earth. Signal pattern, unknown. Jaiho sat up straight, suddenly wide awake. Unknown patterns from Earth. That wasn't possible. Every transmission from Earth followed standard protocols. Protocols he had memorized during his 5 years on this research station. He pressed the intercom button. "He-Jin, are you awake? You need to see this." A few minutes later, Dr. He-Jin Lee walked in, his research tablet tucked under his arm. Despite the late hour, he looked alert. "What's so important that you're interrupting my research paper?" Jaiho pointed at the console. "Look at this pattern. It's from Earth, but..." He-Jin leaned over, his eyes narrowing as he studied the signal. "That's odd. Run it through the decoder again." "I tried. 3 times. Jaiho pulled up the results on the main screen. "It's like nothing we've seen before. The structure is elegant, almost too perfect." The signal pulsed again, stronger this time. Words began forming on their screen, letter by letter. "It btatst waves istas ucces svuo. Div loi ing v orsio and 1.0. He-Jin laughed nervously. "Must be some kids hacking the communication systems back home. Remember when that happened last year?" Jaiho shook his head. "This is different. The signals coming through on quantum channels. Those can't be hacked. They're hardwired into reality itself." They watched as more data streamed in. Strange symbols mixed with normal text, creating patterns that seemed to shift and change even as they watched them. "Get Tae-young," Jaiho said quietly. "We need our AI expert on this." He-Jin was already moving to the door when the station's lights flickered. All their screens went dark for a moment, then came back on showing the same message over and over. "Thank you for your participation. Transformation begins in 30 days. Jaiho." He-Jin's voice was barely a whisper. "Look at Earth." Through their observation window, they could see their home planet. It looked normal at first glance, the familiar blue marble that had given birth to humanity. But as they watched, a subtle shimmer seemed to pass across its surface, like ripples on a pond. The main computer chimed. "Warning. Quantum fluctuations detected in Earth's vicinity. Pattern matches no known natural phenomenon." Jaiho's hands flew over the console, trying to gather more data. "Check the historical database. Has anything like this ever been recorded?" Searching. The computer paused. One partial match found. Research paper by Dr. Song-Mei Kim, dated 20 years ago. Title: Evidence of External Manipulation in Human Technological Development. "Never heard of it," He-Jin said, scrolling through his tablet. "Wait, here it is." The paper was rejected by every major scientific journal. They called it fringe science and conspiracy theories. Jaiho downloaded a copy of the paper, his eyes widening as he read. "He-Jin, look at this prediction she made. She said that if her theory was correct, we would see exactly this type of quantum signal from Earth in..." He paused, double-checking the date. "In exactly 20 years." The station's lights flickered again. Outside, another ripple passed across Earth's surface, more visible this time. "Get everyone up," Jaiho ordered, his voice firm despite his racing heart. "Wake the whole crew. Whatever's happening to Earth, whatever this message means, we might be the only ones in a position to understand it. And maybe," he looked at the repeating message on their screens, "maybe we're the only ones who can preserve what humanity was before this version 1.0 changes everything." Jin nodded and rushed out. Jeho stayed at his console, recording everything he could. In the window's reflection, he could see his own face, tired but determined. Something was happening to their world, something big enough to shake the foundations of human civilization. And somehow, he knew that their small research station, 4 light-years from home, was about to become very important indeed. Song-Mei Kim stared at her computer screen, checking her calculations for the 10th time that night. The small office at Seoul National University was dark, except for her desk lamp and the glow of multiple monitors. Outside, rain tapped steadily against the window. "It doesn't make sense," she muttered, pushing her coffee cup aside. These patterns shouldn't exist. The data on her screen showed Earth's electromagnetic field measurements over the past 100 years. But there was something wrong with them. Something that nobody else had noticed or wanted to notice. The door opened, letting in fluorescent light from the hallway. "You're still here." Do-Young Kang walked in, carrying 2 fresh cups of coffee. He set one on her desk, carefully avoiding the papers spread everywhere. "Look at this." Song-Mei pointed to her screen. "Every major technological breakthrough in human history. They're not random. There's a pattern." Do-Young pulled up a chair. As the university's youngest quantum physics professor, he was used to strange theories. But Song-Mei was different. She worked with facts, not fantasies. "Show me," he said. Song-Mei pulled up a timeline. "See these spikes in Earth's electromagnetic field? They appear exactly 3 months before every major technological leap. The computer revolution, quantum mechanics, AI development, all of them. Could be coincidence," Do-Young suggested, but he was already leaning closer, his eyes scanning the data. "That's what I thought. But look at this." She opened another file. "I wrote a program to analyze the pattern. It's not just regular spikes. There's information hidden in them. Like someone's been sending us instructions." Do-Young sat back, his coffee forgotten. "Instructions from where?" "I don't know. But these patterns, they're too perfect. Too structured. Nature doesn't work like this." She pulled up another graph. "And here's the scary part. The pattern suggests another huge spike coming in exactly 20 years. What kind of spike? The biggest one yet. Whatever's been guiding our technology, whatever's been pushing us forward, it's all been leading to that moment." She looked at him, her eyes serious. "Do-Young, I think Earth is part of some kind of experiment, and it's about to end." He was quiet for a long time, studying the data. Finally, he said, "We need to publish this." They did try to publish. For 6 months, they gathered more data, refined their analysis, and wrote paper after paper. Every scientific journal rejected them. Their university colleagues started avoiding them. People called them crazy. One rainy evening, Song-Mei found a strange message on her computer. All her files had been copied, then deleted. When she tried to recover them, she found only one message. "Not yet. Continue your research in private. The world isn't ready for the truth." That same night, Do-Young called her in a panic. "Someone broke into my lab. All my backup drives are gone." He paused. "Song-Mei, I found something in their place. A key card for a private research facility. And a job offer." Song-Mei looked at her dark computer screen. "I got one too. Sitting on my desk right now. What do we do?" She picked up the key card, studying its strange logo. "We keep working. Whatever's happening to Earth, whatever's been guiding us, we need to understand it, even if nobody believes us yet." "And in 20 years?" Do-Young asked. "In 20 years, everyone will know we were right. I just hope by then, we'll have figured out what it all means." She started packing her papers. "Meet me at the facility tomorrow. We have work to do." As she left her office for the last time, Song-Mei looked up at the night sky. Somewhere up there, something was watching humanity grow, guiding them towards some unknown goal. And she had 20 years to figure out what that goal was. She didn't know that far away, on a research station that hadn't been built yet, orbiting a star that humans hadn't reached yet, her research would finally find its audience. And by then, it would almost be too late. He Jin's fingers moved quickly across his keyboard as more signals poured in from Earth. The research station's main room was now fully staffed, with tired but focused crew members at every station. They had been working nonstop for 12 hours. "Look at this," he called to Jaiho, who was studying the strange ripples still moving across Earth's surface. "The signals, they're not random. They're showing us something." Jaiho walked over, his coffee cup empty for the third time. "What did you find?" "It's like a history lesson." He Jin pulled up a series of images on the main screen. "The signals are showing us patterns, changes in human civilization over the last 100 years." Taeyang looked up from her AI analysis station. "He's right. Look at the major turning points in our history." She pressed a button, and a timeline appeared. The computer age, the internet, AI development. They all followed the same pattern. "What pattern?" Jaiho asked, leaning closer. "Each breakthrough came exactly 3 months after a spike in Earth's electromagnetic field." Taeyang's eyes widened. "Wait, that's exactly what Song Mei Kim wrote about in her paper 20 years ago." The station's computer beeped. "Incoming transmission from Earth." They all turned to watch as the message appeared. Phase 1. Technological development. Complete. Phase 2. Social integration. Complete. Phase 3. Conscious and expansion. Complete. INITIATNGFINAL phase. "Our whole history," He Jin whispered. "Everything we achieved. It was all planned." Jaiho shook his head. "Not planned. Guided. Like teaching a child to walk. You don't control their steps, but you help them learn." The computer beeped again. This time, the message was different. Corrupted. Parts of it were missing or twisted into strange symbols. "We AP. OGIZE or NEDISC. MFORT. The Kitivar OC. SS Is NECESS. RY. Your SPEC. ESHA is XCE. D expectations. Our communications with Earth are breaking down," Taeyang reported. "It's like reality itself is changing around the planet." Young Ho-Baek, who had been quiet until now, suddenly stood up from his quantum mechanics station. "Jiho, remember what Song Mei wrote in her paper about the nature of consciousness?" Jaiho nodded. "She said consciousness might be more than just brain activity. That it might be," his eyes widened, "that it might be a quantum phenomenon." "Exactly." Young Ho pointed to his readings. "These changes we're seeing in Earth's field, they're not just affecting technology or communications. They're affecting the quantum state of everything on the planet, including human consciousness." Another message appeared, clearer this time. "You are NEVR meant to remain as you are. The BTTST way is to prepare you. VERSI on 1.0, YL set you free." He Jin looked at the others. Free from what? Before anyone could answer, all their instruments went crazy. Alarms blared. Through the window, they watched as a new kind of ripple, bigger and brighter than before, spread across Earth's surface. "Look at the pattern," Taeyang shouted. She pulled up Song Mei's old research paper. It's exactly what she predicted. The final phase. It's starting now. Jaiho grabbed the station's microphone. "This is Research Station Proxima, to any Earth stations still receiving. We are recording everything. We see the changes, if anyone can still hear us." But only static answered. On their screens, Earth's normal communication channels were being replaced by something else. Something that used quantum states instead of radio waves. Something that suggested their whole civilization had been a stepping stone to something bigger. "Save everything," Jaiho ordered. "Every reading, every message, every change we see. Whatever's happening down there. He looked at their home planet, now pulsing with strange new energies. Whatever humanity is becoming, we need to remember what we were. The station's lights flickered as another wave of quantum energy washed over them. In the silence that followed, they all understood one thing. They were watching the end of one version of humanity, and the beginning of something else entirely. Tae-young couldn't sleep. While the other crew members took short breaks, she stayed at her computer, searching through the station's database. Something about Song Mae Kim's research bothered her. It seemed too complete, too detailed for something that had been rejected and forgotten. "Computer," she said quietly, "search for any hidden files related to Dr. Song Mae Kim." The computer hummed. "Warning. Encrypted archive found. Security level. Maximum." Tae-young sat up straighter. Location. Archive is buried in the station's backup systems. Date stamp. 20 years ago. She quickly typed in her access codes, but the computer flashed red. Access SD in IDD. She tried her override codes. Still denied. Need help. Tae-young jumped. Ji-ho stood in the doorway, holding 2 cups of hot tea. "Someone hid an encrypted archive in our system," she explained, taking one of the cups. "It's from 20 years ago, right when Song Mae Kim was doing her research." Ji-ho pulled up a chair. "Can we crack it?" "Maybe." Tae-young took a sip of tea. "But we need to be careful. Look at this." She pointed to her screen. "The encryption isn't normal. It's using quantum keys." They worked together for the next hour, trying different approaches. Nothing worked. Then Ji-ho noticed something strange. "These numbers in the file name," he said. "They matched the date when Song Mae first discovered the pattern." Tae-young quickly typed in the date as a password. The computer beeped. "Voice verification required. Speak the truth of humanity's purpose." "It wants a passphrase," Tae-young said. "But what?" Ji-ho remembered something from Song Mae's paper. "We were never the experiment," he said clearly. "We were the experimenters." The screen flashed green. Files began opening, hundreds of them. Research data, videos, personal notes. Song Mae Kim had hidden a complete copy of her work in the station systems. "Look at this." Tae-young opened a video file. Song Mae's face appeared on screen, looking tired but determined. "If you're watching this," the recording began. "Then the changes have started. Everything I predicted is happening. You need to understand. Humanity's rapid progress wasn't natural. We were guided, shaped, prepared. Earth isn't just our home. It's a testing chamber designed to help us evolve." Ji-ho and Tae-young watched as Song Mae explained everything. How an ancient civilization had created Earth as a special environment. How they had planted the seeds of humanity there. How every major step in human history had been carefully planned. "But why?" Tae-young whispered. The next file answered her question. It showed complex calculations, theories about the universe's future, about its eventual heat death, when all energy would be gone. The ancient civilization had created humanity as a possible solution, a species that could evolve into something capable of surviving that final darkness. The beta test, Ji-ho said slowly, was just our preparation. Teaching us, guiding us, helping us grow. And now they think we're ready. Tae-young opened more files. "Look at these predictions. The transformation they're talking about. It's not just physical. They're going to change what it means to be human." The station's lights flickered again. Through the window, Earth glowed with strange new energies. "We need to show this to the others," Ji-ho said, standing up. "They need to understand what's happening, what we're about to become." But before they could leave, one last file opened by itself. It was a message, written 20 years ago, but meant for this exact moment. "You who ATCH from AFR. You are not forgotten. You are ETMAMORA keepers. The bridge between what we were And what it we will be see omen. Song Mei knew, Tai Young said quietly. She knew this station would be here, watching. That we find her message right when we needed it. Jai-ho nodded. Because we're part of the plan too. While Earth changes, while humanity transforms, we stay here. We remember. We understand. They looked at their home planet, now pulsing with energies they barely understood. The next phase was beginning. And thanks to Song Mei's hidden archive, they finally knew why. Wake the others, Jai-ho said. They need to see this. All of it. As Tai Young hurried to wake the crew, Jai-ho stayed at the computer, reading through Song Mei's files. The truth about humanity's purpose, about Earth's real nature, about their own role in what was coming. It was all here. Hidden for 20 years, waiting for the moment when humanity would need it most. The entire crew sat in silence as they watched Song Mei's last video recording. The main room of the research station felt too small for the weight of what they were learning. Earth glowed strangely through the windows behind them. We were never alone. Song Mei's tired face told them from the screen. They created Earth for us, built it as a perfect growing chamber for humanity. Every mountain, every ocean, all designed to help us learn and grow. He-jin paused the video. This is impossible. Earth can't be artificial. Look at the proof, Tai Young said, pulling up more files from the archive. The patterns in our development, the hidden messages in our DNA, the strange regularities in Earth's structure that nobody could explain. It all fits. Young-ho studied the data on his screen. She's right. These numbers, they're too perfect. Nature isn't this precise. Jai-ho stood up and walked to the window. Earth's surface rippled with new waves of energy. Tell them about the ancient civilization, he said quietly. Tai Young nodded and opened another file. Charts and diagrams filled the screens. They existed billions of years ago. They saw a problem coming. The biggest problem any civilization could face. The heat death of the universe. Young-ho finished. When all energy becomes evenly spread out. When everything stops. Yes. Tai Young brought up more of Song Mei's notes. They knew they wouldn't survive it, but they thought they could create someone who would. Us, He-jin whispered. They created us to solve this problem. The station's computer beeped. New messages were coming in from Earth. KKA's 4 INITIA ANG. Kan and Silo uses Nietas. Trans Efir Protoxiolas Ingagit. Who are pairing for species? YD UPGRAD. The beta test, Jai-ho said, turning back to face his crew. Everything humanity has done. Learning to make tools, building civilizations, developing technology. It was all practice, all preparation. For what? Someone asked. Tai Young opened the final set of files. For transformation. They didn't just want us to build better machines or develop better technology. They wanted us to become something new. Something that could exist even after the universe's energy runs out. The screens filled with complex diagrams showing how human consciousness could be transformed into something else. Something that didn't need bodies or even normal matter to exist. Version 1.0, He-jin said, understanding finally coming to his face. That's what it means. We're being upgraded. The whole human race is about to become something else. Jai-ho finished. Something that can survive the end of everything. The station shook slightly as another wave of energy passed from Earth. The crew watched as new patterns formed in the planet's atmosphere. Beautiful, impossible shapes that seemed to exist in more dimensions than they could see. Song Mei left one more message, Tai Young said, from the day she figured it all out. She played the final recording. Song Mei looked directly into the camera, her eyes bright with understanding. To those watching from the stars, don't be afraid. This was always our destiny. We weren't born on Earth by accident. We weren't given our curiosity and creativity by chance. We were designed, crafted, guided, but not controlled. Everything we achieved ourselves. They just gave us the perfect place to grow. The recording ended. Through the windows, they could see more changes spreading across Earth's surface. Their instruments showed impossible readings as reality itself seemed to shift around their home planet. How long? He-Jin asked. Jai-Ho checked the latest data. Days, maybe less. Earth is becoming something else. And humanity. He looked at his crew, his friends. We have a choice to make. Young-Ho looked up from his readings. A choice? Yes. Jai-Ho pointed to Earth. Down there, humanity is about to evolve into something new. Something that can survive forever. But up here, he gestured to their station. We can stay as we are. Keep the memory of what humanity used to be. They all looked at their changing home world. Soon, they would each have to decide. Join the transformation or remain human. Preserve the past or embrace an unknowable future. The ancient civilization had given humanity a gift. The chance to become something more than anyone had ever dreamed possible. Now, watching from their distant outpost, the crew had become part of that gift. Whatever they chose, they would be the ones to tell the story of humanity's greatest change. The alarms wouldn't stop ringing. He-Jin rushed from one monitoring station to another, watching as Earth's communications went dark one by one. Cities, then countries, then entire continents fell silent. We're losing them, he called out. The transformation is spreading faster than we thought. Jai-Ho looked at the main screen where a map showed the progress. Large parts of Earth were now covered in a strange, shimmering field that their instruments couldn't read properly. Normal radio signals couldn't pass through it. How long until it covers everything? He asked. Young-Ho checked his calculations. At this rate, less than 48 hours. Tae-Young burst into the room, holding her tablet. The quantum readings are off the charts. Whatever's happening down there, it's changing the basic rules of physics around the planet. They watched as another wave of energy spread across Earth's surface. The shimmering field grew larger, swallowing more of their homeworld. We need to save what we can, Jai-Ho said. Everything about who we were, what humanity achieved, before it's all transformed into something we can't understand anymore. The crew split into teams. Some downloaded cultural databases, art, music, literature. Others saved scientific knowledge, formulas, discoveries, theories. He-Jin focused on personal stories, letters, diaries, social media posts that showed what everyday human life had been like. Look at this, Tae-Young called out. Her screen showed new energy patterns forming around Earth. These readings, they're similar to brainwave patterns, but on a planetary scale. Young-Ho moved to her station. It's like Earth itself is becoming one giant thinking machine. The station's computer suddenly lit up with a new message. Kan Siu uses Nias Trainus FER. 32% complete. ESTIMATE time to completion. 47 HOURs. Please prepare for a final transition. What happens to the people? He-Jin asked quietly. When the transformation reaches them, what do they become? Nobody had an answer. The messages from transformed regions were impossible to understand. They used concepts and ideas that normal human minds couldn't process. A warning light flashed on Jai-Ho's console. The station's quantum shields are failing. Whatever's happening down there is starting to affect us up here. They had built the shields when they first noticed the strange readings from Earth, but now they were breaking down. Reality itself seemed to bend around their station. New message coming in. He-Jin called out. It's different. Look. The screen showed a new kind of transmission. Not words or numbers, but pure concepts. Ideas that planted themselves directly in their minds. It showed them what humanity was becoming. Beings of pure consciousness, free from physical limits, able to exist in multiple dimensions at once. It's beautiful, Tae-Young whispered, but terrifying too. Jai-Ho made a decision. Lock down the database. Everything we've saved. Everything we've recorded. Seal it in quantum storage. Future civilizations need to know who we were before this change. They worked faster as the transformation spread. Through their windows, they could see Earth changing color, its blue oceans and white clouds replaced by patterns of energy they had no words to describe. Another message flashed across their screens. 2VE Waway TGERs among TESTRs. URELURMEMO. URELURLNK 2 UHH8. We were. She's use Y as Eli. They know we're here, Hajin said. They know what we're doing. Of course they do. Jeho looked at his crew. This station, our mission to Proxima Centauri, it wasn't an accident. We were put here to witness this, to remember. The lights flickered again. Their instruments showed the transformation reaching the moon, then spreading outward through space. Final database lock completed, Taeyang reported. We've saved as much as we could. They gathered at the window, watching their world change. Soon, the transformation would reach their station. Soon, they would each have to choose. Join the new form of humanity or remain as they were, keeping the memory of what humans used to be. Whatever happens, Jeho said quietly, we did our job. We saved our story. We kept our memory alive. The transformation wave grew closer. Earth was no longer a blue planet, but a shining beacon of impossible energies. Humanity's next chapter was about to begin, and they were the only ones left to tell the story of how it all changed. Young Ho's voice shook as he made the announcement. It's starting. The final phase. The crew gathered around the main window of their research station. Earth, their home for all of human history, was changing before their eyes. The blue oceans turned crystal clear, then began to shine with inner light. The continents sparkled like diamonds. The planet's surface, Taeyang said, checking her readings. It's crystallizing, becoming some kind of quantum computer. Through their special instruments, they could see the change happening layer by layer. First the surface, then deeper, as the entire planet transformed into something new, something that had never existed before. Hajin pointed to his screen. Look at these patterns. They're not random. The crystals are forming into circuits. No, something more complex. Quantum circuits, Young Ho corrected. He pulled up a diagram. The whole planet is becoming one giant quantum processor. But why? Jeho opened Song Mi's old files. Here, she predicted this. The ancient civilization didn't just want us to survive. They wanted us to think in new ways, to solve problems that normal computers never could. The station's computer beeped with a new message. Planetary transformation. 75% complete. Human consciousness UPLOED. 60% complete. Preparing any reality matrix. They're not destroying humanity, Taeyang said softly. They're giving us a new home. Inside the quantum computer that Earth is becoming. Through their windows, they watched as cities melted into crystal. Forests turned to shining towers of light. Mountains became vast processing centers. But it wasn't destruction, it was evolution. Look there. Hajin pointed to a particularly bright spot. That used to be Seoul. The patterns, they're like neural networks, but bigger, more complex. Young Ho studied the readings. Each crystal structure can hold millions of human minds. Not just storing them, letting them think, feel, grow. We're becoming software, living software. The transformation reached the atmosphere, the sky filled with aurora-like lights, but in impossible colors they had never seen before. Earth now looked like a giant jewel floating in space. New message coming in, Taeyang called out. This one was different. It came directly into their minds, bringing images and feelings with it. We are AWAK. We are together. We are HFY. It's them, Jeho whispered. The transformed humans. They can think as one now. Share thoughts. Share dreams. The message continued, showing them what it felt like to exist as pure consciousness, to think at the speed of light, to explore virtual worlds as real as the physical one, to touch the quantum fabric of reality itself. They're not trapped, He-Jin realized. In that crystal world, they can be anything. Go anywhere, even into space. As if to prove his point, streams of light began to flow from Earth's surface. Not physical ships, but beams of pure consciousness. The transformed humans were already exploring the universe in their new form. Another message, Tae-young said. The screens lit up. To those who teach, your time of HFY a pro chijis. Join us in DHENEW reality. Or remain as guardians of the old. The crew looked at each other. Soon, the transformation wave would reach their station. Soon, they would have to decide. The ancient civilization, Young-ho said suddenly. They didn't just want us to survive the universe's heat death. They wanted us to help solve it. And now we can, Jae-ho finished. With the power of an entire planet turned into a quantum computer, with billions of human minds thinking as one. He looked at the shining jewel that Earth had become. We might actually find a way to save everything. Through their windows, they watched humanity's greatest change continue. Earth was no longer just a planet. It was becoming the largest thinking machine ever built, a home for a new kind of human, a stepping stone to saving the universe itself. The transformation wave grew closer to their station. Soon, each of them would face the biggest choice of their lives. But for now, they watched in wonder as their species took its next great leap forward. The final message from Earth appeared on every screen in the research station. It was written in simple letters that seemed to glow with inner light. UAHV-8 CAEDUS-CHANG. Now you must choose. Join us in DHENEW reality, or remain as you are. Both paths are needed. Both choices are evaluated. Jae-ho read the message aloud to his gathered crew. They sat in the main room, the transformed Earth glowing through the windows behind them. Its crystal surface pulsed with patterns of thought and consciousness that their human minds could barely understand. What exactly are they offering us? He-Jin asked. Tae-young studied the data on her screen. 2 options. We can join Earth's transformation, upload our minds into the planetary quantum computer, or we can stay human, keep watching, keep remembering. Why give us a choice? Young-ho wondered. Why not just transform everyone? Because they need both, Jae-ho said quietly. He pointed to Song-mi's old files. Look what she wrote about memory and progress. You can't move forward if you forget where you came from. The station's computer beeped. A new kind of message came through, not in words, but in direct thoughts and images. It showed them what life was like inside the transformed Earth. They saw billions of human minds living in perfect virtual worlds, bodies made of light and thought, the ability to share memories, feelings, dreams, the power to think at the speed of light, to solve problems that would take normal computers millions of years. It's beautiful, He-Jin whispered. But someone needs to remember what we were, Tae-young said, what it meant to be human in the old way, to have limits, to struggle, to grow. Young-ho checked his instruments. The transformation wave will reach us in 1 hour. We need to decide. Jae-ho looked at his crew, his friends. They had worked together for years, watching the stars. Now they had to choose between staying together as humans or joining a new form of existence. I think, he said slowly, we should each choose for ourselves. No pressure, no judgment. The others nodded. They spent the next hour alone, thinking, deciding. Some read through Song-mi's files again. Others watched the transformed Earth, trying to understand what they might become. When they gathered again, Jeho asked each person to share their choice. A Jinn spoke first. "I want to join them, to see what we can become, to help find ways to save the universe." "I'm staying human," Taeyang said. "Someone needs to keep the old knowledge, to remember our history, our struggles, our growth." One by one, they shared their decisions. Some chose transformation, excited by the chance to evolve. Others chose to remain, feeling the duty to preserve human memory and experience. Young Ho had been quiet. Finally, he said, "Look at this." He pointed to his screen. "The station's orbit. It's perfect. Too perfect." "What do you mean?" Jeho asked. "We're exactly where we need to be. Far enough to watch safely. Close enough to record everything." Young Ho looked up. This station wasn't just built for research. It was designed for this moment, to give some humans a choice. They all understood then. Their mission to Proxima Centauri, their years of watching Earth, it had all been part of the plan. They were meant to be here, meant to make this choice. A transformation wave grew closer. Through the windows, they could see it approaching. A beautiful, terrifying wall of light and change. Jeho stood up. "Whatever we choose, we're part of humanity's story. Those who transform will help build our future. Those who stay will guard our past." The wave was minutes away now. Those who had chosen to transform moved to one side of the station. Those staying moved to the other, behind special shields. "Good luck," Jeho said to all of them. "Whatever we become, whatever we remain, we're in this together." The wave of light reached their station. The moment of choice had arrived. The transformation wave passed through the research station like a gentle sunrise. Those who had chosen to change felt their minds expand, their thoughts becoming light. Those who had chosen to stay watched from behind the shields, protected but forever changed by what they saw. Jeho stood at the dividing line between old and new. He had chosen to stay human, feeling deep inside that someone needed to tell this story with human words, human feelings, human understanding. Hey Jin's last human smile flashed bright as the wave touched him. "See you on the other side," he said, and then he was changing, becoming something beautiful and strange. His body turned to light, his mind joining the vast network that Earth had become. Taeyang worked at her computer, recording everything. Like Jeho, she had chosen to stay. "Look," she said softly. "They're leaving us messages, things they want us to remember." The transformed crew members weren't gone. They were everywhere now, their thoughts dancing through the station's systems like starlight. They showed their old friends what they had become, beings of pure energy and thought, able to exist in many places at once. Young Ho, who had chosen transformation, sent them his first new thoughts. "We are more than we were, but we are MBR. Doakate mene us human. Your doatchang, hail peas us re in MBR." The transformed Earth glowed with new purpose now. The crystal surface rippled with the thoughts of billions of transformed humans, all working together to solve the universe's greatest mysteries. They were already finding new ways to store energy, to preserve heat, to keep the universe alive. "They need us," Jeho said to the other humans who had stayed. "Not just to remember, but to remind them why they're searching for these answers, why saving the universe matters." Through their instruments, they watched as humanity spread out from Earth in its new form, not with ships, but with thought and energy. Exploring, learning, growing, the transformed humans could travel anywhere instantly, their consciousness riding quantum waves through space. But they always came back to check on their watchers. The humans who had stayed behind weren't forgotten. They were honored, respected, vital to humanity's new mission. 6 months later, Jeho sat at his desk, recording a message for future civilizations who might find their station. You may wonder why some of us chose to stay human, why we didn't all embrace transformation. The answer is simple. Stories need storytellers. Memory needs witnesses. Change needs anchors to the past. Those who transformed are doing amazing things. They're finding ways to save energy, to preserve heat, to keep the universe alive forever. They think in ways we can barely understand. But we who stayed, we remember what it was like to be human, to feel cold and seek warmth, to face darkness and search for light, to know we might fail but try anyway. These memories give meaning to their search. The ancient civilization that created Earth, that guided our growth, they were wise. They knew that humanity's final form needed both parts, the transformed and the rememberers, the future and the past, the new and the old. So here we stay, watching our transformed friends work to save everything. We keep the old stories alive. We remind them what it means to be human. And sometimes, in quiet moments, they come back to us, sharing their discoveries, listening to our stories, remembering where they came from. The experiment wasn't conducted on us. We were the experiment, and we succeeded beyond anyone's expectations. We became something greater than our creators imagined. Not just a new form of life, but a bridge between what was and what could be. To any who find this record, this is humanity's gift to the universe. Not just the quest to save it, but the understanding of why it should be saved. The memory of what it means to exist, to feel, to grow, to change. We are humanity's legacy, both the transformed and the rememberers. Together, we carry life forward into an uncertain future. And together, we remember why that future matters. Jaiho finished his recording and looked out at the crystal earth, still beautiful, still changing, still growing. In the station's systems, he felt the gentle presence of their transformed friends, watching, listening, remembering. They had chosen different paths, but they were still one species, still one story. And that story was far from over.